Today's a big reflection day. It's January 1st, which is obviously New Year's Day, and it's a great day for looking back at the past year. I started writing some of the things I'm grateful for that happened last year, because for me it feels important to acknowledge all that happened in my favor, for my benefit. All that I'm grateful for really feels to me like a really good way to close that chapter called 2018 and turn the page and open up the new chapter for 2019. And I don't know what's in store, but it sure is fun to be hopeful and to create an intention at a minimum. When I first got on a spiritual path, I thought I did my best. I got rid of everything that didn't serve me, and I didn't really know what served me, but at least I had some idea. So I got very puritanical, and my spiritual path has changed a lot since then. But it was what I needed to do at that time. And where was I going with that? I was thinking how there was a point at which I felt that before I had a spiritual path or even really knew anything about spirituality or even thought that that was a thing, I was very much of the mind that whatever you put in is what you get out. And I think I've returned a little bit more to that. But anyway, I always believed in God or something like that, but my basic orientation to the world was you gotta hustle, you gotta work hard, you gotta do what you need to do to make whatever you want happen. And then when I got into a spiritual path, I came across a lot of Indian, Hindu, Vedic teachings, and not to say this just exists in that context, but I see this with people, and I definitely saw it in myself, which was that I felt like, oh, it's all in God's hands. Like you hear people say that, oh, it's in God's hands and there's nothing you can do. And it's really, to me, that's a misrepresentation, a misunderstanding of what it all means. But I'm not here to tell people what it means, just kind of share my own realizations. Because it could be easy to mistake that kind of thinking, like, okay, it's all in God's hands, for I don't need to do anything and I can just sit on my ass and whatever happens, it's my karma. Oh, it's God. Oh, God must have said that's how it's going to go, so that's how it's going to go. And to me, I see people, and I saw myself kind of get weak or something, like give up my own personal power. I mean, we're not that individually powerful in a way. We're nothing. We're like a speck of grain. It's a grain of sand. I mean, compared to the immensity of this planet, universe, galaxy. I mean, depends how far you want to look at it. But at the same time, I think both exist. We also do have a lot of personal power, and we do have say. So, anyway, all this big philosophical viewpoint or something to say that I believe that we put our intentions out, we say what we want, and then we work hard to make those things happen. And ultimately, whatever happens is up to God, is up to a greater intelligence, is up to karma, is up to something that's out of our control. But we're supposed to give our best and do our best and move toward the things that we want, toward the things that we want to accomplish, and the reason why we're on this planet. So I feel like they both go hand in hand. It doesn't need to be like an all believer and give everything over to God and you have no say in the matter, or a complete atheist or agnostic. I always forget what it is, but I think atheist is the one where they don't believe there is a God, and you get what you give, period, and there's no recourse outside of that which you do for yourself. So anyway, I like setting the intention, and then I know that it's up to God really what happens, but I'm going to do my best and give my best. So it's a really great time for me for all of us, but I'm only responsible for myself and my daughter, and yeah, I have a lot to be grateful for. I have a lot to acknowledge. I mean, my God, what a huge year I went through last year, and it seems like a lot of people did. I mean, one thing I'm struck by, the more I slow down and the more I pay attention to people and listen to them and see them and get in their world and get my own self out of the way to be able to do that. Oh, the sun is so beautiful, isn't it? So bright. But it's blocking. You can't see me. That might be kind of annoying. I see how everyone is really struggling in their own way, and everyone's dealing with whatever hand they've been dealt. And it's a big deal to be dealt a cancer diagnosis, but it's also a big deal for somebody else to be laid off from their work, or to not be able to pay their rent, or whatever it is, not even get the promotion that they wanted to get. And somebody might say, oh yeah, well, it's not comparable, somebody getting a cancer diagnosis and somebody not being seen for the promotion they deserve. But to be honest, on the one hand I can agree with that, and on another hand I don't believe that to be true, because you ask the person who was overlooked for a promotion if that was really painful for them. I mean, if it was, if it wasn't, then it's not a big deal. But if somebody is really feeling a sensitivity or a hardship around that, it's real for them. They feel that. Somebody gets a flat tire and you think, well, that doesn't compare to a cancer diagnosis. Well, you know what? In a moment, it does. In a moment, a person is stranded on the side of the road, or doesn't know how to fix a tire, or doesn't have a spare tire. I mean, if you take life in moments, it's extremely as comparable. So the point is to say that I've been feeling people. I've been seeing the struggle. I see the struggle inside myself, and I see the struggle in other people. I can feel where they are protecting themselves or not vulnerable, and I feel that in myself. I feel where I'm protecting myself or not vulnerable, or I'm not taking responsibility. I came across a great quote recently in a parenting book that said basically, whatever we allow, we promote. And I've just been kind of thinking about that one, because I find it interesting. So it's, said another way, whatever we don't stand for, where we promote, or we're allowing, or we're saying okay to. I told somebody one time, I got this somewhere along the line, that there's no such thing as inaction. There's no such thing. We're always saying yes to something. A while ago, I have a Facebook page called Life of Yes. And part of that, what that means to me, is we're always saying yes to something. We're always taking action. And even inaction is an action. So why did I start saying that? I mean, it's interesting to consider that we're always saying yes to something, or where was I going? This happens. I'm like, is this chemo brain? Have I always been a ditz? Like, what is going on? Why do I have a hard time sometimes still? I lose my train of thought easier than I used to. So anyway, the point is I'm getting back to just recalling the last year and creating for myself what's on the horizon for this year. And one thing I'm really excited about is I started a new part-time job today on the 1st, which you would think, what could it possibly be, because everything's closed on the 1st. But yoga studios are not closed. At least my beloved yoga studio is not closed. And it's I started doing Bikram yoga when I was in my mid-20s, and I'm in my mid-40s, so it really has been a lifelong love of mine, and I've taken a lot of breaks from it over the years, and for different reasons. And then I always find myself going back to that warm room. And one of the things I think is magical about Bikram yoga is that it is very healing. So I'm in a place where I need to be healed. My body really needs a lot of healing, and I think other parts of myself as well. So it feels really good to me to be able to contribute my energy and have it be a job that I get paid for. So I'm really looking forward to being able to contribute there and make a difference and be contributed to. It's nice to be at a yoga studio. I get to be surrounded by like-minded people who have a focus on health, and health has been such a focus for me. But it's kind of interesting because last year was really marked, maybe last year and the year before, but last year was really marked by my love of hot Pilates, and I came upon it from my yoga studio introducing hot Pilates, and it took me a few months to try it, and I became a complete addict and nut job about it. I mean, I even did three Pilates in one day a few times, and if that's not nutty, I don't know what is. But now I really feel the call to be back in the warm room, but back in a healing Bikram. There's also an intro class there, so the intro Bikram looks like slightly cooler temperature, and instead of doing 2 of everything, you only do 1, so it's an hour instead of 90 minutes, and I'm really looking forward to being able to do that too, because it's been the 2 things that have been the hardest for me have been not working and not exercising. So, but I'm finding like I could be in there right now doing a little stretching. I'm actually on a little break, but I'm really tired, and I kind of just need to like sit and just recover, just regain my energy, because that's been one of the things that's been really hard for me, has been the fatigue, the level of fatigue. And that's kind of why I'm like about radiation. I really don't want to be any more fatigued than I am. But I know I'll get through it. It's temporary. My God, when I was in the middle of chemo, it felt like it was never going to end. And I'm kind of like, oh yeah, chemo, right. That was last summer. Wait, what happened? So perspective is so important. And I'm trying to adopt that for the remaining bits of treatment that I have. I'm definitely over the hump. I'm over the hill too. But I'm over the hump as far as I already had the surgery and the chemo, and now I need to have radiation and to have another surgery and then heal from that. And then it's deciding about whatever drug I might take or not after that, which I'm definitely undecided about. So yeah, I'm feeling touched and slowed down, and just really reflecting on where I've come to, and really wanting to celebrate the victories I've had over last year, and hopefully the continued victories I'll have this year. I want to put cancer behind me, and I hope I'm able to do that. I definitely like to move on from things faster maybe than they should. One of my friends said, God, you move through things so quickly, and it's true. I do. I really do. I'm pretty good at just being able to go, oh, okay, that's not happening. All right, bye, boom. And like just changing course. I'm really good at that. But the downside is that maybe I need to slow down and be with or sit with a little bit more before I change course, because I do have a lot of energy and I'm usually ready to go on to the next thing. So maybe I'll grow in that way. But I'm eager to take stuff on and to create and to vision big and give a lot. I'm really eager to give a lot. So that's what I have to say about this new year. I hope it's a thoughtful and reflective, and whatever process you want that to be for yourself. It's nice to be able to have a marker to create for ourselves. So if that's what you want, I hope that's what it is for you too. Thank you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being with me, and have a beautiful new year.